Hey guys, welcome to the Cow Emporium. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a garden update. It's June 11th here today in southern Alberta, Canada, and we'll see what's growing on. This first row is our peas that we've saved for several years now and grow them. They're just a nice sweet pea. We're suffering some gopher damage. You can see right here, gophers been getting into the garden. We did plant one tiny 50-foot row of potatoes here before the potato patch was ready for use. This is our second seeding of onions. So there's some yellow onions in there, some red and some white onions. And this is our garlic row. This was meant to be a full 50-foot row of garlic, but it only about half came up. And that happened last year, so I think that maybe we'll try to just plant the first half of these beds nearest to the house. I don't know, maybe they're warmer, maybe there's more moisture there, I'm not sure. This is our first row of onions that went in, looking pretty good. Take a peek down here at these sad peppers that I transplanted out. They looked so gorgeous under the grow lights in the basement. Then they got beat up by wind and froze. So they're kind of unhappy about that. I'm going to fill in the second half of this row with stuff. I don't have any more peppers to put out because I'm keeping some inside and a bunch went in the greenhouse. So I'll put in something, probably some lettuce. On the left here to you, this is going to be red beets, Swiss chard, and then golden beets. And then our lettuce, I'll show you that in a minute. Next to it, I planted some green beans. These should be like a straight French style green bean. And I'll plant some of our seeds we saved for our next round of green beans. Down there I got Mr. Sprinkler pants on. But here's our gorgeous lettuce. It's nearly ready to harvest. This is our first round of lettuce we put out. And I have second round started in the basement. The sprinkler is watering down in this end of the bed. I put another round of Swiss chard, red beets, and golden beets. And past the green beans right here, I've planted soybeans. Never planted soybeans before. They hadn't come up yet, and I was kind of worried. So last night I actually dug one up, and it's sprouting, but I think it's probably just too dry for them. And then just a tiny bit at the end of that row, Glenn has planted cilantro. And then the kind of the second quarter here at the end of it, I transplanted some leeks, and that's my celery. Oof, I've never had my celery go so bad. This celery was beautiful before it went out. I got wind whipped so badly when it first got put out. So I cut off some stuff from it. I'm going to try and make maybe a pergola for it. Celery doesn't love to be hot. And there are going to be sunflowers growing next to it in this kind of weedy patch right here. There's sunflowers coming up, but they're a little bit behind for sure. Those are ground cherries that have been sun scorched and wind whipped. And then the second round of leeks. And there's nothing in the rest of this bed just yet. Where all these stakes are here, I have different varieties of summer squash planted, and you can see they're starting to come up. I have yellow zucchini, green zucchini, scallopini, and there's a new one that I'm trying. I can't remember the name of it. It looks like a green scallopini, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I kind of like the yellow scallopini. How about you guys? But, you know, they're both beautiful for sure. In the last quarter of the garden, we have some sugar snap peas growing here. I saved the seed for those. We'll be planting more just regular green peas here coming up pretty soon. This is our first carrot row. It's finally showing up. Isn't that awesome? 50 feet of carrots. Yum. We just put up our cabbage tunnel yesterday or the day before, finally. Wow. So I put 18 cabbage in there. Maybe one Brussels sprout, I can't remember. And next to it, we're going to plant, I think, about a half a row of carrots, and then I'm going to plant some of the green beans that I saved from last year. This was a patch of dill that reseeded itself, so we're going to just leave that there. And on the other end of that is where we're going to put the rest of our green peas. And you can see we still have room to make more beds here. All right, forgive the weeds out here. Most of that is grass actually coming up because this is a new potato patch for us. There are 800 potato plants put in here. So we just need to, we're going to take off 2 tines off of the rototiller and just run down here and rototill that up. It'll also make that easier to hill the potatoes, the ones that need it. And with this row here, with these stakes, this is my winter squash. Now, I'd say that it's, oh, that's a kabocha squash seed that I saved from last year. So we'll see if that's true to itself. All these stakes here are winter squash that I've planted. And yeah, they're starting to come up. Nice. We make this little sort of well for them here because we don't get enough rain that we're worried about them getting drowned. Some climates you might have to worry about that, but we've had less than 2 inches of rain the start of this growing season, though we have had it and we're super thankful. This is just a row of windbreak corn here. I had Glenn bring out a couple of bales to the garden, put on the west side of this corn. This corn I started inside and it grew like crazy. So this is a peaches and cream variety. And this was going to be just our little corn patch for our eating corn because corn likes to grow in rows together like this so that it pollinates itself. And then when I put it out, the first thing that happened was the wind, of course. But I see like it's recovering. When it starts to heal a little bit, I'll give it some fertilizer. So that's what's growing on here. Just one more little bit to show you, I guess. Oh, I wanted to mention quick. This corn that I seeded here is from Glenn's mom and dad's garden from last year. They grow some of the nicest corn, you guys. This is more or less our herb garden. In here, along the edge, Glenn's mom gave me some common sorrel seed. And so it's a perennial. I planted that there. It looks like spinach and tastes like lemons. It's gorgeous. That's another ground cherry here. So in here I have chives, oregano, thyme, parsley. We've got asparagus in there. We've got tarragon. That giant plant there is tarragon. We got some mint, some garlic chives. And I put some celery in here. I planted some scarlet runner beans that should come up here. So that's growing on. Over here, I treated this, what we call these 2 beds graveyard boxes. I know it's a little bit morbid, but that's kind of what they look like. So I kind of planted this square foot style in here, and I planted some cucumbers to come up the trellis. I've not had a lot of luck with stuff coming up the trellis because I think it just stunts a little bit because it's so dry here. And these boxes dry out really fast. Good drainage though, that's for sure. Inside of this, I've got some broccolini and some Brussels sprouts and some Napa cabbage. Glenn recently took it apart for me to secure it more. It was kind of leaning, so he strung some ropes in there. I told him it looked like our Mission Impossible bed now. And we sprinkled some DE in there because the flea beetles were attacking my Napa cabbage. Darn little things. Okay, this is the greenhouse this year. It just has peppers and marigolds. And along the back, I planted some cucumbers. I just kind of got them spread all over the place this year. Mostly jalapeno and green peppers in here, though there is a witch stick and a habanero. So I've never grown habanero. I'm not really a spicy girl, so we'll see how that goes. Quick look of the herb garden from the other side. All right. I'm going to show you one of the most beautiful places here. Glenn's fixed up this area really nice this year. That's his strawberry patch. And beyond that, the raspberries. That's just one of our rhubarbs in there. I transplanted some Egyptian walking onions out of Glenn's mom's garden in here, and it looks like they're finally not going to die. Here's some more celery, looking like it's not super happy. And then my asparagus bed back here. So I planted some new crowns along here this year, and waiting for them to come up. This is just our little nursery. We got some raspberries, we got rhubarb starts, got a spruce tree in there, and some currants. Now, this is probably my favorite yard. These boxes were gifted to us by Glenn's sister. She didn't want them in her backyard anymore. This one, I put radishes way out here to try to discourage the flea beetles. And they're coming along. Those are icicle radishes to start with. There's some kohlrabi and some spinach. And I'm growing some different things in here this year that I've never grown before. I have some collard greens in here. I actually have collard greens in a couple of places. The mosquitoes are starting to come out. This is our fruit forest. So we have Hascat berries, apple trees, rhubarb, pear trees. Unfortunately, we had some dieback on some of our trees. So we've lost a cherry, kind of. It's coming back at the ground. So I think we're going to move it because we have a pear tree to put there. So we're just doing our best here. Unfortunately, that's one of our oldest apple trees, and I'm not sure it's gonna make it by the looks of it. So here's a look from the other side. This used to be the yard of our old house, so we made it up real nice. And of course, then we moved into the new house, and you gotta start your yard all over again. The chickens are over here, keeping watch over everything. Pan around. See Glenn's mom and dad's house in the background there. And this used to be where our old house was. We had really high hopes for this. We planted stuff here. I've never showed you this, I don't think. We planted stuff here in sort of the shape of an old-fashioned keyhole. So you can kind of see the bottom part of it here. And then it swings around in kind of a bit of a circle. So if you can imagine an old-fashioned keyhole, that's kind of how we wanted to do that. And then we were going to put like maybe the fire pit in the middle or something, but it's darn hard to keep trees alive here. So this bunch here that's coming along, there's a combination of evergreens and fruit bushes in here. So we'll see how it comes. Trick really is to just keep watering it and keep the grass from growing in it. We do have an underground drip line in here, which does help, that's for sure. Out front the house in the greater yard, we have some more trees and berry bushes. These are sea buckthorn bushes, and if they grow in Siberia, they'll grow here. Those are Siberian type trees. They have the hugest thorns on them, and you'll probably never find sea buckthorn jelly to buy because it's so hard to pick and takes so long, and it's so painful. But it's so delicious and packed with vitamin C. If you have a chance to grow sea buckthorns, you need a male and a female of those to produce. Thanks for watching, everybody. That's just a little garden yard update from Zone 3, Southern Alberta, Canada. Take care. Bye for now.